Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Scrubbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. You may not recognize this spot, but I'm actually located next to the AC that we just put in the window. And you can probably hear it, so this might be a little noisier than usual. Unfortunately, when I use my laptop, it's pretty noisy to start with, so I can just well imagine. So we had the first of the Democratic, we had the first of the second round of Democratic debates last night on the 30th of July, and tonight we're going to have the second. I was teaching a class and then fell asleep early. So I didn't see it, but I did watch it this morning on the rerun. And so I thought we could pull some cards on the different candidates. My general, like just personal views were that the progressives were very strong, and those that wanted it to sort of stay the way it had been, not completely, because nobody wants it to stay the way it's been completely, they seem to have a harder time. And then there were people sort of in the middle that, I'll just say my own personal opinion of the debates was that the stuff that excited people the most were the progressive ideas, new ideas and such. So, okay, so I'm going to go candidate by candidate and see how they did, and I'll just going to pick a couple of cards on each. Now there are a couple of candidates that I have some questions about, and I actually don't even know if I could name all of them, and I am pretty politically astute when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the big four, what I would call the big four, and that is Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and or maybe I should say the big three. We'll call it the big three, because those seem to have stuck out the most in my mind. So let's ask about Bernie. I thought Bernie looked rather dashing in his dark suit. Of course, you all know that I am a Bernie fan. I also live in Massachusetts, so I'm a Liz Warren fan, and I think Buttigieg is a smart guy. Smart guy. Beto did better than he did the first time. He seemed more prepared. He didn't seem quite as much as a deer in the headlights. Amy Klobuchar was, there's no doubt in my mind that she's capable, but she doesn't really, there's not a lot of fight there. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, let's do Bernie first. Anxiety. The Nine of Pentacles. That's the well-heeled rich. Princess of Wands. I'm going to pick 5 cards on each, I think. The Wheel of Fortune. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So this looks like to me, this anxiety is not Bernie's anxiety, okay? This is anxiety of the well-heeled rich, okay? The people who have most of the wealth. This is about messages. The messages have been heard. It is going to cause a change of fortune, and I think that he's going to be able to bring more money into his campaign as people see him. I think when you listen to the pundits, you get a whole different idea about Bernie than when you actually watch Bernie. So if you're willing to keep your mind open, you can get a lot out of Bernie, what Bernie says. Okay, let's see. Let's look at Liz. Now, one of the things I did notice is that the progressives did not fight each other. They sort of fought the middle. There was a unified front there. And Bernie and Liz are friends, longtime friends, and they've known each other for a long time. And Bernie, is not. I think he was even a little bit resistant to say anything bad about Hillary. I think it harms him because he could have said a lot about Hillary, but he's not really a dirty politics kind of guy. Okay. We have the High Priestess. That's a very powerful card. That's uncovering hidden things. The Fighter, the Seven of Wands, fighting, having the moral high grounds. Sadness and sorrow. She did tell a story about friends of hers, a 35-year-old man who has ALS and the challenges. So I think that she stimulated people's sympathy, empathy. I have something to say about that. Justice. Okay, she's got a lot of major arcana here. These are really good cards for her. And the Ace of Cups. Okay, so I think that these cards are even more powerful than Bernie's cards. So I think she really did herself a service. And she does kind of have the moral high ground, and she does have the emotional stories. And on some level, she probably has some cosmic justice on her side. This is very good. This is very good. It's interesting. Bernie got the Ace of Pentacles, and she got the Ace of Cups. So I think that she came across as more motherly, more empathetic, more like it's not just about fighting, but it's coming from a place of heart for her. And for years I've gone to different seminars on public speaking and such. And they say if you really want to touch people, you have to make them laugh and you have to make them cry. And I think she did both of those things. Okay, let's see Mayor Pete. Now, Mayor Pete seemed a little less, I want to say, energetic, or there was something. I think what he said was good stuff, but he seemed a little less. The energy was lower than it was the first time I saw him on the debate stage. That's how I want to. And I mean, because I agree with a lot of what these people say already, I'm pretty much just going by the energy at this point. Okay, Mayor Pete. Oops. Oh dear. Okay, well, we're going to start with these. Hold on. The ones that jumped out. Okay, we get to Three of Pentacles. And so he came across as somebody who's very smart, very able, well thought out, and yet the Prince of Cups, young and perhaps idealistic. He kept bringing up his youth. And I'm not really sure that was a good idea. I understand why he did it, but I'm not sure that's the best way to go. Because I'm just not sure it's the best way to go for him. Okay, we have the Chariot. I don't know if you can see that because it was upside down. Upside down. So I think this is a slowing down of his. This particular debate slowed his forward motion a little bit. I'm trying to think of his chart as I'm sitting here. what could be the reason for that? He is a Capricorn, and Saturn is retrograde, so his ruling planet is moving retrograde. It just didn't seem as lively. Oh, I picked two. We have the moon, and we have the judgment card. A lot of major arcana, although they're not as positive as the major arcana that Elizabeth Warren got, especially with the reverse chariot. So I believe that he's being judged a little more harshly than he had previous, for whatever reason, and I think internally himself, he is struggling. He is struggling. I think what's going on in his city has affected him, sort of in a non-political way, like actually really affected him. And his North Node is in Cancer, and so his way forward is to feel his feelings. This is part of his evolution, and yeah, and I think that it did. It has affected him. Now, in the long term, will that matter? I'm not so sure. I think that he's still a good candidate. Let's see Beto. Let's see Beto. 5 cards on Beto. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Queen of Wands. Okay, 2 queens. That's interesting. Okay, I think I know what that means. The Ten of Pentacles reversed, and the Five of Swords. So what I see here is that, and what I felt from him, it's interesting because he kept saying we, when we're president, when we are, and I understand that sentiment. I often say, or when I would work with a patient, I'd say, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And for me, it meant that I was going to do my part, the patient was going to do their part, and the people that worked for me were going to support the whole process of healing. So I understand the we. But when you're president, I think you have to say I a little bit more. That being said, with the 2 queens that we have here, I feel like he was more in touch with that feminine, empathetic side. We saw a little bit more of that. It was less about confusion, and it was more about showing his more empathetic side. He showed a little bit more about his plans for the future, but he did talk about the future as something, as an aspiration, and he's an aspirational guy, and he is somebody who is there to inspire, I think, but I think that that's not what you need for the president. You need somebody who's going to be a fighter, and I think that that's also maybe one of Mayor Pete's issues as well. It's he's maybe not enough of a fighter. He's more of a thinker. And Barack Obama was a thinker, and he was a great president. But right now, I think we need a fighter, and I think that's what people are sensing. He did have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. He did come out initially with a lot of money, but I almost feel like, I know he has had connections to the fossil fuel industry and things like that, and I don't know if he stopped taking money from them or he's hiding taking money from them, but he will, if he is hiding it, he will be found out. So he has to be really upfront with that. And then, of course, If he stops taking the money, then he's going to be behind the eight ball when it comes to money, because you need a lot of money. So he's in a precarious place. Although I have to say he did a better job this time than he did the first time. Okay, let's talk about Amy Klobuchar. Whenever she speaks, I feel like she's in pain. Like there's something about, like, when she talks, it's I feel like pain. I don't know how else to explain it. It's kind of a weird sensation. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we have the devil. She called out the devil. This is not her. She called out Trump. She kept alluding to and talking about what a terrible president, terrible person Trump was, which we all know. Okay, we all know that. She talked about how strong she is within government, and she is very successful within the government as it stands now. So she's not lying. She's very competent. Okay. This is the Eight of Swords. Okay. The Eight of Swords this way means that you feel like you're constrained, and upside down would be the opposite of that. And so she has loosened up a little bit. I think she's less concerned about making a mistake at this point. She did feel a little freer, I would say. Heartbreak. She got people crying too, right? When she talked about the girl who um, died of opiate overdose. But I think this is her pain, that she has pain in her heart. And the Hermit. So she's very capable. She knows what she's doing. She knows who the enemy is. But these last three cards, even though this was upside down, so it's a little bit better, just say to me that she's not maybe ready, or doesn't have the right stuff from these cards. Okay. Let's, now there were, who else was there? Marianne Williams. My phone is ringing. Oh, hold on 1 second. There's stuff to work. Yeah, I don't have to take that. It's spam. Somebody trying to sell me something I don't want. Okay. This is Marianne Williamson. What I find interesting about Marianne Williamson is that she says a lot of really good things. She's got a lot of really good policy. When she starts talking about love, that's when people start to, like, get their eyes glazed over. And of course, everybody is making fun of her. Nobody's taking her seriously, but her positions are very well thought out. Very well thought out. So let's see how she does. We'll see if she'll make it to the next one even, right? But she did get a lot of applause. She got, because she speaks the truth. Marianne, the Death card. That could mean she doesn't make it to the next one. I think she's fine personally. Although she did look like this is, oh, Jesus. All right, we got a whole bunch of stuff falling out. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have Celebration, the Queen of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and one more. The Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so what these say to me is that everybody's writing her off, but she has support. She has a lot of support from people who think like her, right? More sort of heart-centered, healer kind of people who understand the bigger picture and the broader picture. I think she's going to make the cut. She's gotten this card before. I think the last time I did something with her, she got this card. And she's continuing to fight, and she's going to continue to work it. So as much as people want to say that she's, what is she doing there? I feel like she's gonna make it to the next one. So, and because she does have support, Okay, so now there's Ryan Hippenlooper, which I might have said wrong. I'm only going to pick 3 cards on these guys because these guys, the guy who did all the talking, I don't know why. I want to call him O'Leary, but that's not his name. I feel bad that you know what I'm talking about, the bald guy. That's so bad that I call him the bald guy. All right, let's see him. And I'm sorry, it's the one whose father is an electrician. That guy. By the way, electricians make a lot of money, and they work really hard. I have nothing against electricians. I love electricians. But the average person does not make the kind of money an electrician makes. Doesn't get paid the same. So using that as his, work-a-day kind of experience, just because it's a trade, doesn't mean that they're working for peanuts, because those guys make a lot of money. Okay. Okay, we got the 7 of Swords, the Ace of Wands reversed, the 3 of Cups. So I personally don't think that he is going to continue. I think that this 3 of Cups, I feel like this is, I think he's there as a plant for the middle of the road, the corporatist Democrats. I feel like he's there for that. And I think people are aware of what he's doing. Okay, let's see Ryan. I just feel bad for Ryan. Okay, elimination. The King of Cups. Wow, the Alchemist. Now, these cards are better than how I feel he did. He always seems like he's surprised. He seems to like step in it all the time, and then people like go after him. But I think he is also one of those sort of status quo. He doesn't stick out in my mind per se, and I feel like maybe somebody else is pulling the strings on him as well. Okay, Bullock. How did he get in there? Guy from Montana. 6 of Cups. The Empress. The Tower. I almost feel like something is going to be revealed about him, and he's gonna have his tower moment. Did I cover everybody? Did I miss anybody? Hippenlooper, who I like. I like him. I kind of like his energy, but presidential, no. The guy from Colorado. Oh, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen tonight. I think my horse in that race tonight would, if I had to pick a horse, I'd pick Tulsi. I know a lot of people, she makes a lot of people very uncomfortable, including my watchers. Okay, so this is Hippolyta. Okay, we have the King of Wands. So he comes across as capable. Seven of Pentacles. Incomplete. Maybe he doesn't have enough money. The Prince of Swords. A little bit, again, I think he's somebody who was good at what he did, but leading as president, especially in this environment, you need a fighter, and I'm not sure he has the fighting spirit. He definitely seems like a nice guy, though. All right, so that's my take. Now, I know that some of it might feel a little bit biased because of my own personal biases, and so I tried to tell you what those were, but I really did try to feel the energy. And so if I were to pick a winner of who did the best, I would say Liz, and then Bernie. And then after that, I would say who did the best for himself would be Beto, and then Pete, Mayor Pete, Amy, and then the rest. Although Marianne also did well, but I feel like Marianne's in there for a different reason. When she said that she's the person who's going to get him there, I think she believed everything she said before that, except for that. And I know that sounds a little bit like, well, why would she do it? I feel like she's doing it for a higher reason. I think that she would be happy to see somebody like Liz Warren as president. I think she'd be overjoyed to see somebody like Bernie Sanders as president. But she does have to put that out there. I mean, what's the point if you don't think you're going to win? So, yeah. Okay, so those are my take on the first of the second Democratic debate in Detroit. Okay, I'll watch it tonight or tomorrow morning because I have another talk tonight. If you're in the Wareham area, I'm doing the astrology of August tonight, 7 to 9, 718 Main Street, Wareham. So if you're around, come by, $20. And I got to pay for the air conditioning. And so I will see you again tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Peace out, folks. Peace out. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. It's just an exciting time. I love the ideas. I love the different people. I love how everybody has, this is what we need. We need the discussion. I know people say, how many people do you need? We need to get it out. We need to get the ideas out there. The person who's going to represent the Democrats is going to represent the Democrats. So we'll see. Take care.